All right, guys, welcome here. We're here. We're live. This is going to be on my YouTube channel. My name's Joe Ingerman. This is going to be on my YouTube channel, and it's also going to be on our new YouTube channel, me and my friend Ebony Kenny. And for those, obviously, Ebony Kenny plays poker as well. We both play poker, and she's one of my favorite podcast guests. And we've been talking about this idea for like a year, or maybe less than a year, maybe like 6 or 7 months. But me and Ebony had the idea. Say hello, Ebony. Say what's up.
Hi, guys. Hi.
She's one of my favorite podcast guests. And
I gotta
pause that. Talking about this, yeah. So we're dual streaming this on Twitch and on YouTube. Shout out to everybody on Twitch. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. And okay, so me and Ebony have been talking about starting some type of sex training site. The initial idea was that it would start off as a joke where we would find videos of people having sex on the internet, and then we would like break them down. And more Ebony is more of a pro. I mean, whatever, we're getting to that later. But we were going to take the videos and break them down from like do's and don'ts. Because I know a lot of people out there, they're very confident in their sexual ability, but a lot of people out there aren't very confident in their sexual ability. So Ebony and me, we're going to go on a sexual exploration and make our understanding of the whole entire thing much more GTO. And now we're brainstorming ideas, and Ebony keeps yelling at me like, please, let's do something. Please, let's write something. Let's make a video. So Ebony, let's hear it. We're here. And go ahead, give your words on what we're doing.
As I told you a couple months ago that I've always been interested in everything sex, and that sounds crazy, but it seems like every conversation I'm in, everything I've become a part of, it kind of naturally goes in the direction towards sex. And a lot of people seem to come to me for advice, and they want to hear my take on different things and whatnot. And we want to kind of, like you said, explore and go on an adventure and see what, I think kind of go with, like, check out kinks, like what people are into, things that are trending, sex toys, positions, things that have gone wrong, things that have gone right, all kinds of different, there's so many different things that we can do. So, yeah.
Exactly. Are you excited? Are you excited to have an audience of all men that just adore you and want to get private one-on-one lessons with you?
Well, I'm not a touch specialist, so no.
No. Are you? So we're gonna act. Are we gonna brainstorm our ideas out loud here, and maybe we'll get some ideas from the people. So we are on YouTube, we are on Twitch, and people will watch these videos back on YouTube. And shout out to them. And I like Twitch. This is what's the name site? So did we decide on a name? So you registered all these like domains, and you registered all the social media stuff, or what?
Yeah. Did you look?
Yeah.
Did you look?
You
did. Way to go.
I definitely looked.
So
These fucking Twitch nerds, man. All right, you can't talk about sex. They're gonna ban. We're talking about sex. We're not having sex, guys. Come on, calm down a little bit here.
What are they freaking out? Oh, look at you looking all dapper with the glasses.
Put my glasses on. Put my studious glasses on. So the name, what's the name going to be, Ebony? Go ahead.
So it's
what do you think it's going to be for now?
But first, sex.
Okay, why did we choose But First Sex? Where did this name come from? I wanted it to be But First Let's Talk Sex, because it's like something like that, but those things weren't available to get, were they?
Well, it was available, but the Twitter handle it's maxed out at 15 characters, so. So yeah.
Do you think that really matters a lot?
It does, because it needs to be the same name across the board. So like, how could we? Then it would be But First with like the number 1 ST.
How do you know that though? Like, what's your how do you know that?
Because I tried. I have both Twitter handles, but.
No, I was saying, like, why does it have to be the same across the board?
Don't you think?
I don't know. I'm not sure. We're not like I don't think we're professionals when it comes to this area.
We're brand new, and branding's important. But then I was fine with it a couple days ago, and then today I started texting you about something different. You're like, we're changing the name again. So yeah. So
what's your idea? What's your like reasoning for wanting to do the site? Just because you think it's something that you'd be great at and something that people would be interested in, and it's what you know best. I feel like for many reasons, I feel like sex is one of the things, and dating, and just you know, being social and being romantic or being like all those types of things are what you're really great at. And I think this is something that's right up your alley. I think obviously women love you, men love you. I've seen both people show their love actively for you all the time, constantly. And yeah.
Yeah, I just think that it's such a natural fit for me, and I was gonna go the route, and I still may go the route of becoming a sex educator, or even so far as to become a sex therapist, and that's still something that is on the horizon. But obviously, want to see how this goes, and I want to move away from poker and concentrate on this full time, because it's not just I love poker, I love this idea way more than anything I've ever done. So.
Well, it's a lot more fun because like there's so many different things you can do, videos, or you can do podcasts with like I really the idea of doing podcasts with other people who are like, you know, women or porn stars, like, you know, all like from all different walks of things. And, I got a couple on deck. I've been lining up some potential podcast guests for our podcast for the site, and I got a couple. I got some. You got the touch person on deck. I got a couple. I got 2 porn stars I know. They're lined up. You know, and you get a different perspective of everything. I have some. You can get some. We can get LaFord on for the hot guy, because you always need a hot guy in there who probably thinks he knows what he's doing when it comes to these type of things. So, what do you think makes you an authority? Like, why should people listen to you?
Okay, so one of the things that I tell you all the time is if you look up like anything that I've looked up as far as somebody that's talking about sex, it's like the weirdest people, in my opinion, right? In my personal opinion, for me, it's the weirdest types of people that are on video, or they're creating a show, right? It's no one I ever want to have sex with. And so when I think about people that, if I'm thinking about listening to people or watching people talk about sex, I can't be disgusted when I think about having sex with them or visualizing them having sex. So I think for one, that's an advantage that we have across the board. So, but it's I don't know. I just feel like it's fun and exciting, and I make things fun and exciting. You make things fun and exciting, and it's a topic that's still kind of taboo, and people are afraid to jump in and dive headfirst in, and I'm not, and you're coming along on this ride with me, so why not?
Well, I'm coming along the ride just because someone on YouTube said it's bad for something, but bad for the brand. I think this is great. I think this is the most fun thing in my life. I mean, I go from playing poker on the computer and doing podcasts with people that play poker to, you know, learning about these new things and being out there in the world. In the sector. Didn't you have some idea? Your idea was that like some sort of tantric thing, like a 30 tantric thing, try them out or something. You're telling me I got to move to California to do something for 30 days.
Oh my God, no, those were like separate ideas. So one of the ideas that I had was I'm going to try 30 sex toys in 30 weeks. I wanted to do it in 30 days, and I'm going to review them. I wanted to do it in 30 days.
What does exactly a review entail?
Me using it, and I'm not going to use it on camera. Are you crazy? No, me using it privately, and then making a video reviewing it and saying like, here's what I liked, here's the pros and cons, here's what I think it could be better, here's what I expected, here's what I got. So. What
was the other idea? The 30 positions or 30 things you were talking about. What was that idea?
That was your idea.
That was not. What was the idea? I don't remember the idea. What was the idea?
Your idea was do it for the stream, do it for the show, was us have sex and experiment different things.
Yeah, to talk about just for the sake of the fan, like for the fans, hashtag for the fans, of course. You know. And then you kept telling me I have to move to California to do this idea. You're like, move to California to do the idea.
You were like, oh yes, I think this is GTO, blah blah blah. I said, you know, that would like I'm not leaving California. That would mean you would have to come here.
Mm.
But there are a lot of different things that we could like. I was telling you about. There's so many different things out there that people don't know about, and the people that are doing these things, they want more people to know. So they would gladly demonstrate and show and teach and they embrace people who don't understand or don't know, who are just curious, even if it's just ridiculous.
I like the idea where people submit their own sex videos and then we do like a run it once sort of poker training video style where we're like ghosting, and then we pause it and be like right there. went in a little bit too fast. So what do you think about that, Ebs? Yeah, I think, and then we start breaking it down from a math, like really just
like frame by frame.
Yeah, frame by frame. Please move the stream to Chatterbait ASAP. Yeah, they want to see the action, man.
No way. No way.
So have you got the site up and going? You decide on a WordPress theme so we can start putting out videos and putting out written content, Ebs?
I'm pretty sure that I was waiting for you to submit me some ideas. Do you remember that? And you're like, okay, do it now. And then I got nothing.
Remember when your roommate was on the stream naked a couple days ago?
Yes.
Matt Campbell wants to know if we can get another guest appearance from her.
She's downstairs doing work right now. And she's in her scrubs.
Oh yeah, she's what is this? Or Ebony's daughter? What the kind of weird? I don't know what's
Do
happening.
what?
No, I'm looking at. I had to time somebody out in the chat. So.
Wait.
So you're gonna start doing full time now, Ebs?
Yeah.
Ebony answers questions. Well, somebody had a question earlier. He said he just broke up with his girlfriend of 5 years, and now he doesn't know what to do. He asked, how does he not fall in love with all the girls that he meets?
Well, that implies that he is meeting a lot of girls. Is he meeting a lot of girls?
Well, maybe he asked me the question, how do I not fall in love with all the girls I meet?
I don't know. Well, first he's got to find the quickest way to get over somebody is to get a new crush. So you find somebody that you know it's not going to work out long term, but somebody that you are attracted to, like at least on a semi-serious level, but that you know it can't go anywhere. So that's the quickest way to get over a previous. But 5 years is hard. You're not just going to get over that. Takes time, period. So
don't you think a lot of guys can't gauge that for themselves to understand, like, if this is gonna, you know what I mean? Like some guys probably, they meet a lot of girls and they have some sort of attraction with them and they just assume that this could be it. This could be the one.
I think women do that more than men. I think women tend to kind of think in the first 5 seconds of talking to somebody, they have like their life planned out. And obviously there are exceptions to every rule, but generally speaking, if the first date goes well, they come home and they tell their girlfriends or their friends or whomever, oh my God, I think I found the one. They're planning like kids' names and all this nonsense. And yeah, so I think women do that way more than guys do.
So how do you think that, like, how could people change that? What could someone do? How could they stop trying to get out of that mindset?
No expectations. That's the biggest thing, I think, is to stop going into everything with an expectation, because you're only setting yourself up for disappointment and you're putting so much pressure on that other person, and they're not a mind reader. And even if they were, like, how can you put all of those expectations on one person, especially so quickly? It's insane.
This is kind of shame because we
just let things go, let them flow.
We have the exact same approach to dating and maybe, having romantic encounters with people. And so, yeah, I've had that, I found that it's, because I've started really adopting these principles the past maybe year or two. And I think it just leads to me not really caring about most people. Because you have no expectations and you're sort of, you're always looking for, you don't want to settle for anything. And I'm not really looking for a relationship. I don't think you're looking for a relationship either. But you're open to the idea of a relationship.
Right.
But you meet so many people all the time that it's really hard to, you know what I mean? It's really hard to know.
I think a lot of it has to do with age and experience too. As you get older and you meet more people and you get more experience and relationships and all types of relationships, you're able to discern rather quickly if something can go somewhere. But the problem is, I think a lot of people are so looking for something to go somewhere that they pass up on a lot of good things that don't necessarily have to go somewhere or be something or have a future. That if you don't find the person that that you think you're supposed to be with for the next 10 years of your life, but you find someone that you could learn a lot from or have a really good relationship, for 6 months, then why not just enjoy that 6 months and don't rush to put a title on it. Don't rush to put pressure on it when you know it's not going to go anywhere, but yet you can have a good something with that someone.
I think what happens, it's what's been happening with me the past bunch of women I've met is, you know, I explain that up front. I think you're very open to explaining that up front. And I think with women, when you tell a guy these things, the guy's just going to say anything because they just want to sleep with you, or they want to, you know, they want to start fucking you. That's pretty much what, so a guy is going to say whatever. Whereas from a guy, me saying that to a woman, you know, it's sometimes like they agree to, they kind of do the same thing. They agree like, yeah, sure. But they secretly think that, no, you're going to change after a couple weeks. You're going to change after a month. And then once that month comes,
then you're an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're this big asshole. Like, and you sort of explain exactly how you feel about the situation up front. But, you know, I guess I don't know if there's a trick to avoiding that or what.
No, because women are batshit crazy. We're emotional, and we hear what we want to hear a lot of the times. Even, I mean, you could flat out communicate with someone and say, listen, I can't give you what you want. This is not going to be XYZ. And then they, like you said, they think that, oh, after a month of doing this, feelings, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. I really care about you. This is going to hurt, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, fuck, yeah, now you're an asshole. So
why don't you tell people a little bit about your approach to dating, which is fun.
About my approach to dating?
Why don't you tell the people about your approach to dating? What's your life like exactly? You know, so are you gonna be honest here? Are you gonna hold back on the truth?
Do I ever hold back when it comes to this part of myself?
Probably not. No.
No. Okay. So currently, I am what you would consider polyamorous. I am a single polyamorous. I do have someone that I am more serious with than anyone else. And he's pretty special. But we have
shout out to him, by the way. Shout out to him.
Shout out to him, yes.
Is this the same way? Is it the same person it's always been?
So no, okay. So there was the actor.
Right. Shout out to the actor. I like his show on TV. It's a very good show.
You've probably never even watched his show.
I've definitely watched his show. After I found out, I started watching the show. I'm a big fan of the show.
Oh, okay. So there's the actor, and he was actually the kind of the catalyst for me delving deeper into my connections with other people and not wanting to put a title on things and kind of understanding how important it was to connect with people other than just physically or other than the traditional sense of being in a monogamous relationship. I was never good at monogamy anyway. So yeah. So he was the catalyst, and now he and we no longer really see each other. It's been a couple months since I've seen him, but yeah. So I am dating. I normally have a roster, is what I call it. Currently my roster is clear as fuck. I am accepting applications, even though I'm super busy. But yes, I'm always accepting applications for roster positions. But yeah, everyone always knows. Anyone I get involved with, they know almost immediately that, look, this is the way it is. This is how I feel about relationships. I just want to go into every relationship that I'm in openly and honestly and respectfully. And as long as I am being true to myself and being respectful of whomever I'm in a relationship with. And I mean, when I say a relationship, like you and I have a relationship, we have a friendship, like I have a relationship with like the store clerk, right? So some people, like a lot of people, they hear the word relationship and they freak out. They're like, oh my God, no. And it's like, listen, this is already a relationship. Everything's a relationship. So as long as I'm respectful to everyone that I'm in contact with, and I'm honest, and I can still find a balance and maintain being true to myself, then I'm happy. And I have found that I have been able to create deeper friendships. You know, I've cultivated much deeper friendships and relationships ever since I started taking this approach. And some people are okay with it, some people are not, you know, but I've got some good friendships out of people who are not okay with it. And I have maintained friendships with people who were okay with it, but it just, you know, it just didn't align long term. So.
Well, there we go. There we go. Ebony, I guess that explains your position on. I guess that explains your position on things, doesn't it?
Yeah, but not to say that I'm not. I've been telling you this lately, that I do think that for whatever reason, right now I'm going through this thing where I think I want a boyfriend. So it's weird.
Yeah, some people on Twitch said the audio is dropping a little bit. You can click on the link right there. It's for YouTube. The audio and the quality will be much better. But on YouTube, I don't know. I'm still figuring the whole entire Twitch thing out. So, Marty Rose, puppy, he said, Joey, did you ever discuss the sex prep with BW? I don't remember the sex prep that I made with him. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know if I should be saying puppy. Daniele, what's up, Daniele? Abe. Herman said the woman could talk about paint drying for hours, and I would listen. Most gorgeous poker chick ever.
Yay! Thank you. Who said that?
Herman. Herman
Hi,
Ben.
Herman.
One of the hardcore fans of the stream and of the podcast.
Yay! But see, I'm not gonna talk about paint drying. I'm gonna talk about lube and orgasms and anal. Did you know that last month was National Anal Month or something?
Did you celebrate the month?
Unknowingly. I didn't know that it was anal month, but I did celebrate it.
Oh boy, this is gonna be wow. I mean, I guess okay, I guess this sort of help. I think doing something like this sort of helps me justify my behavior in the world, with women, because
okay. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what you think. You got my take on relationships, et cetera, and where I feel. So you go.
What do you mean? Go ahead. I don't know.
How do you? What's your take? What's your stance on relationships? I know that you had a serious relationship, et cetera, but you are kind of seeing somebody now. I'm sorry.
I said the relationship was awful, and I don't regret getting in the relationship because she was a very great person. I think she's really nice, but just being in a relationship was. I mean, being single is really fun. Plus, I mean, I travel all the time. I spent, a couple months this year in San Diego. I spent a month in Germany. I spent, a month in Las Vegas. I've barely been actually at my home base here outside of Chicago. So it's really hard to, have a girlfriend or be in a relationship where that can really work. So I sort of embrace very short relationships, as I might put it, but yeah, I don't quite know because the women just don't accept that. I mean, it's not like they don't accept that, but it's really hard to not leave the relationship being a fucking asshole for the most part.
Right.
And also it's sort of hard because let's say I live here and then they live in, Philadelphia or something like that. It's really hard to build on that. It's what's the, how do you sort of stay in touch? What's the purpose of talking every day or texting if you're never going to see each other sort of thing. So I don't really keep ties with the women once I leave this. That might be bad, but
you don't. Hold on, I'm gonna lock my door to make sure I don't get interrupted. Just 1 second. Oh my god, I can't lock the door.
Whoops. Guys, Ebony's voice is a bit quiet. Yeah, if you want to hear it, just watch on YouTube, guys. If you want to hear a louder voice. Whoa.
I'm ghetto breaking my door.
Yeah, you just moved into a new place in California. You're living in Laguna Niguel.
Yeah, Laguna Niguel, and yeah, brand new. My bed is still not set up. This is my room, but my bed is in the garage still. So.
Well, shout out to your room, by the way.
Thanks. It's a little neater than it was the other day.
It looks a little neater since I had you on the last podcast. But getting back to that, so. I spent time in Germany. I was with a German girl, and that was a lot of fun. She's actually coming here to the United States. She's making an in-call. I call an in-call anytime the person comes to see you. I mean, it's basically an in-call is anytime the person flies or drives or comes to see you. And out-call is when you fly to go see them. So I feel like you probably take a lot of out-calls, huh?
I do. It's I don't know. I love being alone. I like having my own space and not having someone fucking stuck up my ass 24/7. So I prefer long distance relationships. And I might be like one of like 10 people on the planet who prefer that. I mean, that's for right now, you know, but I am starting to kind of like go into the like, oh, it would be nice to be able to have someone in the same city or the same area and be like, oh, let's watch a movie tonight, or let's do this, instead of trying to get it all done in like 4 or 5 days, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, I do a lot of out calls. That sounds so awful. I can't say that. You can say that. I'm not going to say
terminology.
That.
So I actually have I used to only do in calls. I used to only fly them in. Obviously, you know, that costs money. You end up paying for flights, and like, you know, it's its own, that has its own sort of thing. But
there are pros and cons to everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I've sort of enjoyed doing out calls if they live in a fun place, because then you can kind of get a little exploration of the city in there too. And if things go bad, you can get to a hotel. But what I found is when you make out calls, you actually put more effort into it. Whereas if they come to see you and things start going bad, I'm just like, showers, like whatever, you know, it's kind of GG, and that might not be the best approach to the situation. That's evil, isn't that? That's bad, right? That's pretty bad. This is what the site's for. It's to,
oh my gosh, yeah,
to explore these ideas, thoughts, and feelings, and figure out a way to make them more GTO.
Yeah, you're I don't know. I think for you, this will be really exciting and a lot more like eye-opening for you than I know it's going to be eye-opening for me. But I think for you that there'll be a lot more realizations on your end than there will be on mine. Like, I'm already like so open and very self-aware and super like been exposed to a lot. Right. And I feel like this experiment, or whatever the hell that we're doing, is going to be, and I think that's also fun for the viewers, right, is to see two totally different points of view from the same, you know, from the same scenario or same experience or whatever. So, but for you, I think it's going to be a lot more exciting to watch you unfold and develop.
Listen, I'm just excited to get some actual attractive, I mean, not saying I don't get attractive women on my podcast in the poker world, but to get some actual like women,
real life hot versus poker hot.
Right, get some real life hot women on some podcasts, like do some videos, you know, get them out there, because obviously I think a lot of our people that are going to watch our stuff or read our stuff are going to come from the people that know you from poker, the people that know me from poker,
right?
And then eventually, like things will get out, and then you'll start getting more regular world people in there. And you know, right now my audience is 97% men, 3% women, and I'm pretty sure.
Well, see, that's perfect, because I come from, you know, part of the background that I have is, you know, I did some music videos, so I have several girlfriends that I'm relatively good friends with that have been in a ton of, you know, music videos. They model, and they're this and they're that, and they're smoking hot, like real life 9s and 10s. So, and I know that they would jump on this show, like literally. So we're gonna so it'll be fun for the viewers to watch, and we're gonna, you know, be able to like talk to them and pick their brain, and it's fun to hear attractive people talk about sex openly.
Why is that? What makes that fun?
Why, are you serious? If somebody you're attracted to is talking about something you're interested in, and it's kind of elevating all of that, why is that not fun? You know,
I was setting you up for the question. I wasn't asking the question from I want to know the answer standpoint. I'm asking you the question from explain the answer to people out there listening standpoint.
Like, it's so self-explanatory though, right? Like, it's just people gravitate towards more attractive people, period. Right? And then if it's a subject you're interested in, and who isn't interested in sex? That's and true. If they're not, then sorry for you. But, you know, what would you rather have someone you're attracted to talk about it, or someone you're not attracted to talk about something, you know, that is supposed to get your penis hard and your pussy wet? Like, really? So
that's true. That's a really good point. A really good point. Very good point. Marty Rose says, shout out to my boy Marty, man. I've known Marty for a very long time. One of the first people I met in poker. He said attractive people are more interesting. Which, what do you think about that? Maybe more interesting to, maybe not more, I mean, I guess in general, yeah. What do you think about the question? What do you think about that statement?
I mean, as a generalization, I don't agree, but I don't disagree, right? I just think that's kind of like an ignorant generalization. You know, like how could you quantify that? Because levels of interest is just based on perspective and personal opinions anyway. Like it's not really quantifiable.
So
right?
attraction isn't quantifiable?
Something that is interesting to you might not necessarily be interesting to me, and vice versa. And for every other random Joe Schmo on the street. So how is that really like, I don't know.
That makes sense. Stastolysis says, attraction versus intelligence, which is more important in conversation? I know what you're going to say. You're going to say it's intelligence because I know you're like, oh, it's not, it doesn't matter what they look like. But for you, you might, go ahead, just give I already know your answer to this question.
No, I'm the one weirdo that when I say intelligence is more important, I actually mean it. You can, I think I've told you this before.
So this is the first conversation when you first meet somebody, you feel like the conversation is more important than the attraction of that person on a first meeting?
The conversation is what's going to either, if I'm attracted to that person, their level of intelligence is either going to make me more attracted or just turn me off completely if there's no intelligence, right? And extremely like high intelligence or anybody that's capable of holding like a high level thinking conversation, they can take me, like if they're a 4, if they are physically for me like a 4 or 5, if they're super intelligent and they're capable of high level thought and they're not complete like social retards, then they now are like an 8 or a 9 to me. And I'm literally the one girl, like you can ask my girlfriends, they're like, what is it with you and nerds? And oh my God, like I have dated on a scale like 1 to 10, I've dated like 2s and 3s because they do more for me than.
Everybody's got a shot, boys. Everyone's got a shot.
I am an equal opportunist, right? Like if I'm interested, there's nothing, I can't say why I'm interested. I just, sometimes I'll just gravitate towards people like, and I can't even explain to you why, you know, but am I like, are they my physical top choice? No, not even close. But they do more for me than the super smoking hot model who can barely count to 10. So, yeah. But I'm an exception to the rule, right? Because I know, like, I have girlfriends that they won't date anybody that's less than, you know, an 8 or a 9 on the physical.
You're sort of talking about like terrible people for the most part, the girls you're describing, because like, you know, like the terrible superficial guys or terrible superficial girls who don't date someone because unless they either have money and or are a certain attraction level. Those probably like, I mean, for me personally, those aren't people I'm attracted to in the first place that I'm ever interested in. Because I mean, I think you meet a lot of people. I meet a lot of women that are like that, where they, you know, they look a certain type of way, but they're only like, you know, they're big whores, and they're very after one thing. They're after power. They're after status. They're after money. They're after attractive lifestyle, attractive people. And I think for me, that's something that I gravitate very far from after meeting a lot of people that are like that. And I mean, I don't even know where exactly are you meeting people at. I feel like you meet, like you have a much more, you know, I've cut back on my meeting new people all the time in every place I go to lifestyle, where I feel like you have not cut back on that. You've sort of.
Are you crazy? I totally have.
I feel like you've been going pretty hard with that. You've been on the grind. It's not even like an intentional grind, but you just meet a lot of people. Every time we go anywhere, anytime I've seen anyone interact with you, they're always like, damn girl, like, you know, they fucking freak out. The white dudes, black girls, the white girls, like they, like, remember at Coachella? Like seriously, at Coachella, guys, when so me and Ebony and my little bro went to Coachella. Shout out to my little bro, 22 Andrew Cool, aka Yardstick. I know he's gonna be out there trying to learn some sex once he loses his virginity. Shout out to him. He's 16 years old, and and so whenever we'd go somewhere, even in Atlantic City, when we were in Atlantic City, you got complimented one morning. You woke up. We went downstairs. You got complimented one morning by 5 random women. Like you used your charm to get like a like a tip from the, I don't even, it was amazing. I'd never seen anything like it before. So with that said, I feel like it's really easy for you to just.
Whoa. Sorry about that. Yeah, well, no, the thing is, the best example, I think the first time that you got to see like me in action was at Borgata last year during the Bar Poker Open, when I had to, whatever we had to do with the room, something with the room. Do you remember? And I had pink hair at the time. Mm-hmm. And you were like, what the fuck? Like, you were like freaking out because everyone was so nice to me. And I got my way about everything. Like, I don't even know what happened. But no, I try and be genuine and polite and smile, like, and really like give off good energy, and people respond well to that. So yeah, I'm inviting.
You are really inviting. Yeah, I mean, women get, someone, D. Sanchez, shout out to D. Sanchez. He said, women don't have to approach, they get approached. Ask her if she gets approached a lot.
So it's funny because, I don't get approached as much as you would think. I mean, I do get approached a lot, but it's like, I feel like they're not serious, or it's never anyone that I would actually date that approached me. It's like the guys, like, okay, let's say like, here's a guys that I would date, right? It's like the guys that are way down here are the ones that do the approaching, and then the guys that are here on the level that I would date are the ones that are like, a lot of people just assume that I have a boyfriend or I'm in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And every time I talk to someone, that's like one of the first things they say. They're like, well, I just assumed, oh, a girl like you. And I'm like, okay, so they're judging based off of, their physical attraction for me, but I could be completely psychotic. I could be a complete moron. Like, why do I have to be in a relationship because you're physically attracted to me? Like, to me, that's absurd. But yeah, but people don't, I guess also because of the way that I look, people don't think I'm intelligent. So they don't really, they're not creative when they approach me. And I don't have time for that shit. Like, I would prefer like straight honesty over the guy that's like, oh no, like when I say no thanks, I'm not interested. Like, I have flat out now, I'm honest. Like, if a guy says, oh, can I get your number? And I'm like, no thanks. They're like, oh, why, do you have a boyfriend? This was a straight up real conversation I had at a pool party in Miami. I was out with one of my video girlfriends, and it was at an urban hip hop party, right?
Shout out to the urban hip hop parties of the world. I'm sure you fit right in. Well, I've seen you in a bathing suit a few times, and you fit in quite well, I'm sure.
Thanks. So I had this.
By the way, being in a pool with you is incredibly interesting when it's all white people around. So it's one of the most interesting experiences of my entire life is being in a pool where there's older white people and kids around. But go ahead, continue on with this Miami.
I had on a normal bathing suit. It wasn't even anything outrageous. So anyway, so I'm at the pool, and at this pool party, and this guy is like trying to talk to me, and he's nice. So I'm talking to him the whole time, like talk to him for like probably 5 minutes, which seems like 20 minutes in real life. And after a few minutes of talking, he says, oh, so can I get your number? And I said, no, that's okay. I'm not interested. And he says, oh, you must have a boyfriend. I said, no, I don't have a boyfriend. I'm just not interested. And he says, no. Come on, there's got to be a reason. And I'm like, I'm not interested. And then all of a sudden, I'm the bitch. Like, he calls me like, oh, you're so stuck up and you're this. And I'm like, and I flat out tell him, I said, listen, would you rather me bullshit you and say, I could easily say, yes, I have a boyfriend. And then you're going to give me this spiel about, oh, it's okay, we can be friends. And you're going to, try and get in come off from the side and be like, no.
Con, yeah. I call it the long con, where you sneak in there, you try to stay around for the long term, and then eventually you sneak your way in there. It's the long con.
Through that shit. Like, I am. Listen, as far as like the game goes, I've been there, I've been in, I've been out, I've been like all over it. And I just see through all of that shit. So I like just appreciate the fact that I'm honest with you. And I appreciate people who are honest with me. So I don't know. I don't respond well to like cheesy pickup lines and the like, pss, pss, pss. Guys do that a lot. So as far as like getting approached, do I get the whole like, hey girl, hey, Amber Rose. I hear that a lot, which is annoying. So, but yeah, I mean, I get that a lot, but that's not necessarily approaching. I guess if I was a dumb, really, really dumb girl, then I would respond to that stuff. And sure, then I get approached a lot. So,
I gotta be honest. You sound, at this point in time, you sound pretty attainable for 95% of the current people listening. I guess. the way that you describe, the way that you're describing yourself.
I am. I'm not. I don't know. I'm just an equal opportunist. Like legit. I don't know.
Mune Locky asked a great question. He said, "I might be weird, but I'm not confident in my oral skills. I want to please her more than anything, as I'm not huge on oral myself. Any advice?" Also, Joey, I'm an Orland Park kid. Thanks and advice. Honestly, the shark is a great maneuver here, and I'm serious. The shark works. Didn't I show you the shark in person?
Yes.
Like when you were here, we did a podcast together. We did two. Me and Ebony. So Ebony's been to my place here a couple times, and we play. You know, we've done a couple podcasts. We've hung out. We've had fun. We were friends. We're potential. We might get married one day. You never really know. Once we all decide whatever. But yeah, so the shark's a good mover. But go ahead, and so you've got this question down pretty well. So he said, "I might be weird, but I'm not confident in my oral skills. I want to please her more than anything, as I'm not huge in oral myself. Any advice? How can you get better?"
Wait, how can you? Is this a guy and he doesn't like oral?
Let's not think about that part. Let's focus on the positive of the question, not the perceived negative of the question, which is what you're doing right there.
No. I'm not going negative with that. I'm just surprised.
Yeah, give him some advice. What can you do? What can he read or what can he watch? Because I'm sure there's some sort of resource out there. I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there who aren't sure. Like maybe, because a lot of times, girls are like, you're like, am I doing it good? Most girls just like, yeah, you're doing it good. And you're like, am I really? Like,
yeah, girls are afraid to a lot of women are afraid to be vocal. As they get older and they get more confident, the level of comfort of expressing themselves, that increases. But overall, do not watch porn for oral sex tips, because it is the most staged, fake, like stiff tongue, like in and out, up and down. Like it's the worst thing. Honestly, you should watch her, watch how she's responding to things that you do. Go slow. That way you'll be able to decipher what moves she's responding to well and what moves she's not responding to well. And ask her, do you like this? How's this feel? What do you want? Women love that. If a guy comes into the bedroom and the first time we're hooking up, like he's doing something and then he says, what can I do to make you happy? I promise you're going to get probably like the best blowjob, the best everything. She's going to, if you're the first one to jump at what can I do for you, she's going to want to reciprocate.
All right. So this is false, guys. I just want to tell you right now, this is not true. Because Ebony's speaking from a theoretical standpoint when she says this. I've ran many sims on this. I've tested out this theory exactly. And on the girls where you're going to get an awesome blowjob from in that situation, you were already going to get an awesome one. First, you're already going to get one. But what you find is that a lot of times the women are not very open. Like they you know what I mean? Like, sure, like, tell me I'm here, but they're still, like, maybe you are going to be like, okay, completely honest. Like, all right, perfect. This is exactly what I'm looking for. But a lot of women out there just aren't like that. They aren't confident in themselves, and they aren't. I'm sure a lot of guys out there that are going to be meeting women, that's not going to, like,
right. But you don't go from like, oh, you're kissing her face to like, what do you want from me? Right. Like it has to be when you're in the act and when you're already, down there, and you'd be surprised. Like if you're in the thrall of it, like if you're literally in the middle of it and like, is this okay? Do you like this? How's this? Do you want me to go slower? Do you want me to go faster? Do you want more?
Should you ask in that tone? You think you should ask it in that tone? That sounds like am I doing this all right? It sort of sounds like
you're not asking for permission. You're already down there. But if you actually paying attention to her response, and if you're actually doing that and you're not getting enough information, I think the first move is to just pay attention to what you're doing and be intentional with everything that you do. Like think about this person individually and watch how they respond to you. And if they're responding in a way that you like, then keep doing what you're doing. If they're not, you try different things. And if that still doesn't work, then either A, she's completely closed off, or B, you need to, change up and check your ego and ask for guidance.
I feel like what you just said is going to confuse a lot of people, Ebbs, because like So it's going to confuse a lot of people. A lot of guys out there, you know, they might not be able to get into the lab and actually put this to the test. So they're going to be more on the learning side of things right now. So what would you think is a good resource for them to go maybe seek out? Davis in the chat, Davis Masasico says there's a video on Pornhub on how to do oral for girls. It's the nuts. Easy to learn from that.
Oh yeah, so that's one thing that we're gonna do, right? That was one thing. Get like a oral specialist, and
yes, we're gonna get a specialist that's gonna like teach us, and we're gonna video. We're gonna demo. We're gonna record us learning in the act, and yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm very excited for that to happen. I'm excited to get some coaching. We're gonna do the touch coaching. We're gonna do some. We should do like some of those like the sexual massage coaching, and because I feel like a massage is always a great way to get pretty hands on. Like when you're just cuddling, you can sort of, you know, I don't know. Women love massages. I think men love massages. I think everyone loves massages.
Yeah, well, that's honestly, those are the touch specialists. There are people that literally, they go to school, like, fine, you're a massage therapist, whatnot, but then they take it to another level where they are, it's legal. It's not prostitution. It's, you know, they literally give these massages, like full, like the person's naked, they're naked, and they're just giving massages. And it's this elaborate specialty where they just know how to, you know, freaking get out every single ounce of pleasure from this person. In further, it goes so much deeper than just like sexually.
I really want to meet these people because the first I really heard about this was from the first time I heard about this was from you. So that this touch specialist, and DeSantis said, I think that's good. Some girls will still give the number just to be nice or not make the guy feel bad, but then not respond or flake. I'm sure that happens a lot. Girls just give out their number or give a fake number just to be nice to the guy because they don't want to reject the guy or say no to the guy.
Yeah, they do. They do. Because sometimes it's just easier. I mean, that conversation, that scenario is proof that it would have been just easier if I had said, sure, here's my number, and then I just ignore him. Or, no, I have a boyfriend, and he's actually here with me. He's in the bathroom. Or some nonsense, like, or he's on his way here. Mm-hmm. You know, anything. There's, and I have done that plenty of times. Sometimes that's just the easiest route. You know, sometimes guys don't take no for an answer, so you have to, like, go, like, the real, like, now I got to be an asshole. Now I have to lie to you because you wouldn't take my honesty at face value and appreciate the fact that I am being honest with you. So now you're the asshole. So I got to be an asshole too.
Ruben actually, he said something we were talking about. He said there are some Kama Sutra exercises that are useful that will help you last longer and experience heightened sense of pleasure during climax. Were we talking about something like that?
So the thing about like Kama Sutra and like that.
Anytime someone starts off the thing about it never goes in a positive direction, guys.
No, it is. But I think it's like one of 72 things. So 72 things that Kama Sutra is supposed to like help your life. Like it wasn't just about sex. There were so many different things, and all the like that stuff is just one very, very small part of the idea of Kama Sutra. So, yeah, that's my very, very like minimal knowledge on that. I do know that it's just one part of a very bigger picture, much bigger picture, a very bigger picture. Really, Ebony? A much bigger picture.
Bodybuilding League on YouTube. What's up, Bodybuilding League? I like this guy so far. He allegedly he says his girlfriend is a strong woman champion. So, and he referenced the video. I'm going to check that out. He actually brings up a point, which I've run into a few times. So let's say you go on a date with a girl. Let's say you go out with a girl, or you end up bringing a girl back home, or she comes over after it's 10 p.m. at night, and you guys are gonna make you're getting to work, you're starting making out, you're getting together, and you take off her clothes, and she's got a smelly vagina. What do you do in that situation? Because that's what he said. He said most of them stink. Like what this happens. I mean,
most of them stink. Are you kidding me?
It's not like it's not like a rancid smell or anything like that. But it's more like you know what I'm saying? It's like it's not an appeasing. It's not. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like this rancid thing where you're like, oh my god, what is this? But like a general, it's just a long day. You know, you sweat, you're doing things. It just happens. They might not be at home. They might have been out all day and then they come over. Like, what do you do in that situation right there?
Okay, so what I do personally, I try to be extremely considerate.
I know, Ebony, I know this is what you do. You have the most GTO sex preparation I've ever seen in my life. But other people, okay, it's a long fucking day. Let's say you're not at home. You've been out all day. Maybe you went to work. Maybe you got some drinks at the bar. Then you went out and met with a friend. You know, you and the girl come back home. You guys are on the beanbag chair with Hollywood Haxton. And, like, I find it's just such a huge turnoff for me. So, like, what do you do in that spot? You just sort of skip the oral, but then it sort of makes, you know, then you're not.
See, okay. So I will tell you, I met this girl. The last time I was with a girl was, I think it was last year. And that's always been my fear whenever I hook up with a girl. I don't do random hookups with girls because of that reason, because a girl could be a solid 10 and then you risk it being like a 2 down there.
Right, okay. Well, we've established that happens. What do we do when we get there? It happens. We get to that point. What happens? What us as men, you know, so, what can we do?
Let's take this to the shower.
Oh, GTO. What if they say no? I mean, can't you just sort of skip the oral and just go straight to the sex in that situation? But I feel like that doesn't make it as pleasureful or as fun, you know? I mean, I know for you, that's not the GTO line you like to take when you.
Yeah, but you know, some women don't. Some women don't like oral. Some women don't have to have oral. You know, I think honestly, if it's like, there's a difference between like it's been a long day pussy smell and like it's always a long day pussy smell. Like I think you can tell the difference. Mm-hmm. So I think then you have to do like a real time judgment call. Like, all right, do I think this is a long day or do I think this is always a damn long day? And if it's always a long day, you're not doing shit to that. You know, like if you're just trying to get your rocks off, you throw on the condom, you call it a day. If it's something that you think is just, oh, I just caught her in this moment, then you can suggest like going in the shower or, you know, you make a real time judgment call. That's honestly the best way to put it, I think.
I like the shower idea actually. That's a pretty that might be a decent line to take in that spot. I'll write this down. Shower. Good idea, Poppy. Usually at that point I'm just so turned off. I'm like, yeah. We had a good question earlier from Stasius. Stasius said Chicago Joey Poker. What is your typical icebreaker method? And obviously with you don't need an icebreaker you could approach, but you know, I think my answer is pretty standard in that I just start talking to someone. Like it's pretty, I don't know, I say hello or like, you know, I mean, there are like these little lines, like when I was in Germany and I was traveling around, a lot of like a really easy line, just an opening icebreaker is where are you from? And then wherever they say they're from, it doesn't matter where they're from, you get excited. You're like, oh, that's awesome. Like, oh, tell me about this or that. Or like, then you start like, you follow off that. And that icebreaker works 100% of the time because it always starts a conversation. You just act really excited when and maybe you are actually excited about what their answer is. But when you say, oh, where are you from? Not like, what are you doing or what's your job or like, you know, that's just kind of like the same standard approach most people take. But where are you from? Where are you from? I mean, this sort of applies to a bigger city. I feel like too, you're meeting people that are from more diverse, like different areas and stuff like that. But when you say where you're from, that's just such a great opener, and it just can lead down so many different ways. And what do you think about that, Ebs? What do you think about from a male perspective approaching women? What would be an icebreaker? What's like an easy thing? It's not because you know there's these complex things. You go up to a girl and you're like, the negging is what it's called, I believe in the.
Yeah, no,
I don't really even know how to do those kind of things. So.
No, negging's out. You know that's especially now women know that you're negging. You know, they might not know the term for it, but they know that.
You know what? I think women get carried away. So anytime now you say anything that's not, because for instance, there was a girl in Vegas, a poker player, and I said, you're not funny. And she thought I was negging her. I just literally didn't think she was funny. So she thought I was doing this sort of like reverse pickup thing on her. And I'm like, listen, no, I just don't think you're that funny. You know what I mean? And no shots to her, but I don't think she's funny. And so I think these women now are sort of starting to be like a little bit too like little like conspiracy. They're
so sensitive. Like everything is, I don't know. I think honestly is find something particular about that girl that, like, if no matter what anyone tells you, women really think about what they're doing when they leave the house. Maybe about 15% of the time, women are just literally, they're just getting out and they're just going, and who cares, you know? But a lot of times if you're meeting them out in social situations where they're out in public and they took the time to put on an outfit, put on some makeup, do their hair, whatever, like, find something, find an accessory, find something that makes them different than everyone else that you can comment on, you know, or like, oh, like, and it doesn't even have to be so far left, you know, but just like, oh, like, I like your shoes, or I really like that necklace, or, you know, or anything like that. And then you have to make sure that if you like that and it continues a conversation, you say like, oh, I think my sister would really like that, or my cousin. No, don't say like a friend would really like that, because now it's like, oh, it's like you think it's a friend you're sleeping with or whatever. But just that gets conversation going. And it shows that you're paying attention, and it's something that she's probably excited about.
A friend of the podcast, guest of the podcast, LaFord, actually taught me a couple good things. LaFordisms. He mentioned one thing was, if a girl's wearing a watch on her left hand, she's probably left-handed, and you can point that out to her. I believe that's what it was. No, maybe it was the right hand. I can't remember. It was switch the hands around. But he also...
I'm left-handed, so I wear my watch on my right hand.
Right, that's what it was. If she's wearing a watch on the right hand, they're probably left-handed, so you could point that out to them, and then they're going to be like mind blown. And he also was saying that anytime, you never want the conversation when you're just, you know, when you're talking with someone to really pause. So anytime it sort of gets to a point where it starts to get, you sense it being a little bit quieter, you sort of throw out a random question, or you throw out a random observation, like, what's your favorite word that starts with P? Like, I don't know, some weird shit. And obviously LaFort is, he's better at probably getting responses from women than some of the guys out there might be, but it's certainly an idea to think about. And
I think before it could just be like, what's your favorite color shade of brown, like, or whatever, like, and women would respond well. Like, he's just he's a separate breed.
He's a self-proclaimed diva.
Is he?
Oh yeah, he says he's like a hot chick. That's what he tells me. He's like, I'm like a hot chick. I'm like, oh boy. He's like, yeah, sometimes some nights I'll just talk with girls all night, and then I'll just stop talking to them, and that's it. I'll meet a girl online or on Tinder, and then I'll talk to her for a couple hours, and then I'll just stop. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I do that.
He's like, I get that validation for a couple hours, and then I'm over it.
Oh my God. So this guy, speaking of Tinder, so now that I'm in California, like, to pass the time, I've been Tindering.
Of course you have.
I haven't met anybody off Tinder. I haven't even made plans to meet anybody. But this guy started messaging me yesterday, and he was woman bashing. And I was like, dude, let me know whenever you're done, like, bashing women. Like, it was insane. Hold on, what is this guy saying about? Oh my God.
What's the matter? Someone? Why do you even keep talking to that person?
No, it was just interesting. Like,
why?
And entertaining, because where's the logic? I'm asking you as a guy. Like, he's a guy. Where's the logic?
I don't ever take that approach with. I never bash anybody. I tend to be pretty positive, and I don't ever say mean things to random women I find. I don't even use Tinder. I've used Tinder one time. I met a nice young black girl who's in law school, and she was one of the most boring people I've ever met in my life. Shout out to her. And I showered her pretty fast. But yeah, I don't really.
Why she gotta be black, girl?
She was black. She was black.
Yeah, but you didn't say like your ex-girlfriend was a nice young white girl. Ha.
This girl was really black, though. I mean, yeah.
Oh my God.
That was the only reason I actually met up with her, because I was, you know, I like black girls, so.
Was she like a bucket list black girl?
No, it's not.
Was she dark?
Yeah, she was just dark. Yeah, she was a smart black girl.
See where that got her? Got her nowhere.
That's true. Got her taken to the showers. That's very true. We had a good question over here on. Did somebody actually subscribe to me on Twitch? Motherfucker, hell yeah. Royal Rotten says eye contact, tone of voice, and body language. I think those are hugely important things that we need to talk about at a later time. Like that is gonna be like a whole separate thing.
So what we're gonna do is eventually have, not eventually, but what we are going to do, and that will probably happen this weekend. Wait, what? We still? Sorry, I got caught up reading something. Is pick a subject, and that's what we'll talk about. the whole show, and you guys can submit questions on all that, and you can submit questions anyway. We have an email address.
My boy Herman wants to know, we still need Ebony's age range and instructions on how to apply to the roster. So we got some guys obviously out there, they're going to hear you, they're going to see you, they're very interested in getting on the roster. Guys out there, if they want to get on the roster, what can they do? What are your age lengths? How young do you go? How old do you go? Just for reference for the guys out there.
I'm awful. I literally
380, blind, crippled, or crazy, you get with them all, or what?
No, but I like them all. I like young boys. I like 22, 23-year-olds. I love young guys because they're eager to please and they're easy to teach. And
are these like young studs, or these like young, like, you know, like just above average looking dudes, or are these like,
you don't even have to be above average. What are you talking about? They can be average. They don't have to, they just have to pique my interest. For me, I don't care what anyone else thinks. I am not.
How much sex are you having, Ebony? Let's be honest here. Come on. I mean, you sound like you sound like me when I was 21 years old.
I'm not. My roster is empty. It's been, let's see, Saturday. It's been like almost 3 weeks since I've had sex.
You're in a downswing. You're in a drought, huh? It's like California. You won't move to California and you go on a drought like California's on a drought right now. No water.
Well, if my goal was sex, I could have sex all day, every day. That's not my goal. So.
Okay.
But I just, yeah. No, but so, yeah, I like the young boys, and then I like grown-ass men who fucking have their shit together and they make me feel like a woman and like a little girl sometimes, and they just like put me in my place, you know? I think it touches on two very different, like, opposite ends of my personal spectrum, like my personality spectrum, especially, where like I run shit, and sometimes I want to be like, I want to just show up and please tell me what to do. So.
Okay. We might actually have one of the first women ever in one of the streams. She said, this was on my homepage. I don't even know who y'all are or why I'm here. Okay, bye. Does that mean you're leaving, or are you coming? Shout out to Elizabeth, by the way, man. Shout out to Elizabeth. I feel like there's going to be once we get going with this, there'll be more women that are typically on all my podcasts and live streams because obviously poker is a very male dominated sport, and sex is a very balanced industry. Is that correct?
That sex is balanced?
What are you doing over there, Ebony? You gotta learn. You gotta get focused. Use some fucking Adderall or something like that.
No, sorry, I was reading.
What are you reading? I'm reading 3 streams, and I have Twitter and Facebook here. You gotta stay in this.
I was reading a comment from your 30-year-old virgin.
This guy's a troll. You don't want to listen to this. Come on, you gotta learn to identify. You gotta learn to identify the. You gotta, yeah.
I know, but I just read those for entertainment purposes. That's all. Trolls can be entertaining too.
When there's so many actual great conversation topics out there.
Okay, you're right. They don't even deserve that. Okay.
I'm a professional.
Right.
I'm a professional. I'm a professional streamer at this point in time. So I guess I'm used to ignoring all the trolls and focusing on the positive, actual comments that provide something to the conversation.
And give us some context to go off of. Okay. Joey, how much sex are you having nowadays?
Well, Ebony, shout out to all the stalkers out there that are watching this. That I feel like you might be a little bit more honest with the people in your life than I might be with the people in my life. Because like with some of these women, you can't tell them. You can't be like, yeah, like I know a bunch of girls. Like I have a girl in this state, every multiple countries, like just on standby, just in case you go to that place. It's like,
why can't you?
I mean, you can, but I don't know. Yeah, women, they just don't respond to that pretty well. So.
Yeah, most women just, I don't know. You have to tread carefully.
Right, yeah. So you can't really I don't think I've quite got to the point where I'm quite as open with people as you are when I'm hooking up with them or something like that. Plus, I'm trying to be good. Like I wasn't, I've always been really bad. I've always been very bad in terms of just having multiple relationships all the time and stuff like that. And I view that as bad. But now I'm trying to be not like that for the most part. And it's different. It's not as fun. It's much more fun to just pursue all the time and always be open to meeting people and always be open to something happening and always be opening to what's happening with this Twitch stream, man? Jesus Christ. Twitch is just getting carried away over here. I've got a big Richard. I like this guy's name, but shout out to him. Yeah.
Don't you shout out to him?
Why not?
Because he's the one with all the negative, not ridiculous.
I'm gonna be so ready to retire from poker after this. I'm really ready to do the thing where we do the 30 different things, the 30 different like sexual exploration things, and then we can talk about them on stream and maybe give some people some insight.
Oh, are you ready to do that with the people, like the women that you're not honest?
Why are you lying right now? You were more pumped about this idea than I was initially. You're lying.
Not ready for it. Everyone in my life, I could be like, yo, so here's what's gonna happen. I'm working on this project and I'm gonna start having a lot of sex, trying a bunch of different positions. I'm gonna talk
why are you big time with me right now, dude? Okay, why are you being a big time Philhelm Youth? What's happening over there, Ebs?
I'm just saying that I can own this whole part. I don't think you're really ready to own all of that. So when you're
wait, whoa, what is that? What does that mean? Hold on a second. Clarify that, please.
Because of what you just said, you just single-handedly proved my point. That you are not like completely honest. You're not as honest with the people in your life as I am with the people in mine.
It's not that I'm not completely honest with them.
I said you're not as honest. You're not as forthcoming with
I feel like, I don't know. I wonder how forthcoming you are. So let's say you're dating these people. Are you telling these people that you're dating because you also enjoy having this casual sexual encounters too?
I don't really do those. Not much.
Really, but it happens. So when they happen, are you calling up everyone? Are you telling everybody that you're dating? Like, oh, this happened, this happened, this happened? Because that's what I'm saying when I mean by being completely honest, because that's...
So so one of the things that I do, like if I have, there's levels of communication I have with people in my life, right? So like the person that I'm closest to right now, like we talk multiple times a day. It's like, good morning, good night, and throughout the day. And he's the person that I go to for advice and to vent or just to say hi or whatnot. So he gets the bulk of my communication, right? And so if I'm with someone or if I don't answer a text, he automatically, he knows, like, my rule is when I'm with him, I don't use my phone. I'm respectful and I'm present and I try not to use my phone. And if I say, hey, I can't talk, they know why, because I do the same thing when I'm with them. So they can use their imagination and they either get confirmation or they get, no, this is actually what I was doing, or yeah, I was with someone. So yeah, they do get that.
Scott says both people here don't seem too honest. Huh. I think you're pretty honest about your situation.
Yeah.
How you live your life and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm extremely, I pretty much, I try and do my best to be forthcoming. Sometimes it does. Listen, it's not perfect. It gets sticky. Being honest gets just as sticky as telling a lie. Like it's not always easy. And sometimes the easy route is to not tell the truth. But
it's much easier not to tell the truth.
Yeah, I don't know. I always try and do what I would want someone to do with me. But whereas some girls, they don't want to know, but even like, so with the actor guy, we told each other everything in like full detail about things. But with the guy that I'm seeing now, he doesn't want to know detail. Like, he's just like, okay, I got it. You were with somebody. And then he just wants to know, like, did it escalate to like penetration, or is it still like first base? That's all.
I think most guys don't want to hear that shit for the most part because they have feelings for the girl that they're with, or they care about the girl that they're with, and they can't hear things like that without getting really jealous or getting caught up in their own emotions, and which seems pretty natural. Like that seems like a natural feeling.
Jealousy is completely natural.
Right. I think if you don't care, it's almost like I don't know, because I don't care, but it's normally because I don't care about the girl. Like I care about them on some level, but I really like don't truly care about them. So if they do something else, I don't mind because like I'm not invested that much emotionally into them. And it does sound like a cuckold. That's exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like you and your old boyfriend, the primary, had a cuckold relationship. You know what a cuckold is, right? It's like when the partner goes and has sex with other people and comes back home and tells the partner about it, or sometimes the main person watches it, or sometimes the guy videotapes it and it ends up on porn sites.
We didn't go so far as to watching or videotaping, but we definitely shared and like told stories. And
so it was a cuckold then. That's what it sounds. It was a cuckold. Yeah. Okay. Cuckold. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people secretly are into that. They just don't talk about it because it's like taboo, or like they don't want to seem weird.
It's so taboo, and I think it's everyone's so quick to judge and quick to point, and I think until you kind of own your own shit, you can't really, get into a position where you're comfortable hearing someone else's shit, right? Like, honestly, that's what it is. So I think a lot of like the finger pointing and the judging so quickly is because people are still so uncomfortable with their own shit that they have to they're projecting. That's normal. So yeah.
Interesting, Ebony. I feel like I'm gonna get into trouble having this podcast with my other stuff that I do. I'm gonna get into trouble.
Really?
I did get sunburned today. I got a lot of sun today, so I'm like kind of, but I'll be really tan luckily tomorrow, so I can't wait.
What'd you do today?
I went outside.
Is that how you got sun? By going outside?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I know. I really enjoyed being outside. It was great. I did a podcast today with Esther, too.
Ite, I know. I watched a little bit of it.
That was interesting. I argued with my ex-girlfriend for a long time.
Because of the podcast?
No, she argues with me. I just tell her to please stop yelling and arguing with me. And I've been reading Tony Robbins' book on money management today. That was one of my favorite books of all time now. What?
Which book is this?
It's his latest book. It's about mastering the game of money. And it's amazing. It's great. I've already started doing some of the recommendations they have in the book. And I put in a nice long session of yoga here earlier today. I'm really trying to get my body feeling better. And all these things sort of, what are these weird people on Twitch, man, that just like it's like make all these, I don't even know what they waste their time for and making some of these comments on Twitch. I love Twitch, man. Shout out to Twitch, man. Yeah, shout out to Twitch. I love Twitch. But yeah, I'm really trying to, obviously, I think you're big into working out. I'm big into working out. I'm big into bettering my diet, just overall bettering oneself. I think all these things go hand in hand, really. Like the idea of, bettering yourself and bettering your relationships, bettering your sex life, bettering all those different aspects of things. They all can kind of combine into one and make you more.
Yeah, there's definitely levels, and you can elevate every aspect of your life by taking care of other aspects of your life. So it definitely goes hand in hand. So being fit and healthy and being, cognizant and able to think clearly and make good decisions, that goes hand in hand with good sex. And
you're really healthy. I mean, I've seen your diet. Your diet's pretty good. And sometimes I guess you don't eat as well. And,
I do like, it's like all or nothing with me, right? I'm either eating super clean or I'm going ham and I'm eating everything in front of me and your food too, and his food and her food, and give me more. So, yeah.
But you have the black jeans, and when you work out for like a week, your butt starts.
Well, I get cut like really quickly. So yeah, I'm lucky for that.
Yeah. Someone had a good question. JL Dota says, I have a girlfriend, have had many, love the sex and enjoy hanging out and doing stuff, but I never really care that much. Like I never think about the future with them or have the same thoughts I assume they're having by the way they act with me. I'm 100% like that too. What should I do? What should he do? I'm exactly like that as well. I just don't care. I never really care that much. What's the issue with people that have that, do you think?
I don't know. I guess like how long have you been dating a girl, and like what's the
I think it's more of an in general question.
Yeah, I don't he probably just, kind of passing the time. A lot of people get into relationships just for the sake of not being alone, and or the person's good enough, or on paper.
No, it's not a relationship. We're not talking about. It's just in general dating, like a short-term dating, or like maybe a medium. This is not like a serious relationship.
Relationship, Joey. Remember what I said about the word relationship? It doesn't necessarily mean like monogamous or serious or exclusive, right? I think a lot of people get with other people because it's convenient. There's a multitude of reasons that you can be with somebody, and that person doesn't necessarily have to excite you.
A relationship is anything, like any time you hang out with them, anything you do with them.
Yeah. Like it doesn't have to be, it could be, so what relationship automatically constitutes like a high level degree.
Well, so most people, I mean, come on, you have to understand. Come on, Ebony, you're
I know, but that's
everyone. To 95% of people in the world, yes, that's what a fucking relationship constitutes. Come on.
Okay.
Aware of it, like sure, like to you and your maybe circle of people, like yeah, a relationship means any encounter you have, but to everyone else out there in the world, that's not what a relationship means. A relationship means when you're with that one person in a monogamous relationship for an extended period of time. That's what a relationship means.
I think you just had because you said you're similar to this guy, JL Dota, I believe, right?
Shout out to JL Dota, Poppy.
I think honestly, if he doesn't know what to do, he shouldn't do anything. He should just do what he's doing, and either like choose to focus on himself and figure out a way to find his equal, find somebody that excites him and makes him want more, or B, just kill time until you desire more. Because clearly, if he's okay with it, right, and that's what he keeps getting, so there's a part of him that's totally fine with that aspect, with not caring that much. Maybe he's afraid to care. Maybe he's put up a wall before he even gets involved with anybody.
You said I do that, don't you?
Yes, you definitely do.
You allege that I do that. Five Hook says, "Is Joey like men?" No, so I'm very much into women, and Ebony is very much into
women and men.
Ebony's into everything. She's just trying to get up on anything, as we've already established here. Stala said, "Have you ever felt that you may be a mild sociopath because you're sometimes too apathetic?" If he's talking to me, I just started thinking about that, actually. Yes, I just started thinking about that. What is the answer? I'm not sure. I haven't figured that out quite yet. So, D. Sanchez said, what would be a good approach / opening message on Tinder or other sites?
I'll let you take that one first, Joey.
I don't use Tinder. I really haven't. Like I used it for like one day. I hung out with some girl. And then I started talking to my ex-girlfriend again. So then I got off Tinder.
I think the thing with like Tinder and dating sites like that, it's a numbers game, right? You just gotta freaking just go, like plug away. You will find somebody that will respond in the way that meshes well with your personality, period. It's a numbers game. There's no exact science. There's no hello, people are judging you based off of a picture. They're expressing interest based off of a picture. And then I don't know, it's just such limited information. So just fucking plug away. Message everyone.
That's one approach, sure. But okay, let's say
your matches, right? Like if your matches, you can't message people that aren't your match.
So the question is, what would be a good opening? Okay, so right, now we have a bunch of matches. Now what do we go? Now what do we say?
I don't know. I know what not to say. Like, unless I don't know, don't say, hey, or how is your day going today? Like, I don't know. Like, you can have, I could read you some of the messages that I've gotten that I've responded to and some that I haven't responded to.
So now we got a great question. Now we got actually, I know a Tinder specialist who I started talking to who did social media marketing. Everyone does social media marketing. There's so many of these fucking professional social media marketers that have that as their professional business that don't really have a real following. They have a bot following, and they somehow make a living and grow their business off of this fake. It's really quite that's a whole nother subject for something else when you're, that's just a whole nother subject. Myron says he's got 353 matches. He's done his research. Shout out to Myron, man. Shout out to Myron.
You want to see? Look, so here's the great thing about California. I have gotten matched with 2 super, super hot girls. Look, I'll show you.
You got a receipt. Perfect.
Yeah. Let me see her moment today. Oh, okay, no. Can you see that? Hold on. Oh, that's a hot picture.
Okay,
so the gun.
Okay, so I got to tell you something. When I see that photo, like, something weird happened to me. Oh, she's kind of sexy. I mean, she's wearing a ton of makeup though.
Yeah.
Like when I see that girl, like I feel like I see so many, like you see so many attractive girls. So before I read that fucking book Models by Mark Manson, I was all woman crazy. But then in the book, he's always like, unless you're fuck yes about someone, don't spend your time on the person. I can't see.
Right.
You got the pictures. So what happened was
another one. Okay,
until you go on dates, Ebony, that's fine. We can show a photo. You got to go on dates with these girls, man, before you start showing. Anyone can show pictures of girls they matched with on Tinder. Get in the streets.
Yes, but I'm also a girl, so there. But I'm just saying, like, I haven't in Florida. Like all the girls look like crackheads. Weird. So yeah. So continue. You were saying?
I don't know, Ebony. You're talking about transvestite. I don't even know what you're talking about. That you're on the TGG transvestite girl grind. I think it looks like over there. No shots at her. I mean, someone in the chat actually said that. I'm just picking off what he said, but yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Where I'm not even go back. Myron had a good thing. He said, "Hey, my Netflix just stopped working. Mind if I come over and watch yours?"
Yeah.
No, you don't think so?
I mean, I've heard that one.
And is that not good or not bad or good or what?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't respond to the, like, if, I don't know. I think I'm just a rare, like, what did you call me before? A rare breed. Like, I just respond so much better to just straight up, like, I appreciate the guys who are like, oh, so what are you using this app for? Like, have you had much success? Like, they want to know if, like, am I using it for a hookup app or am I looking to, like, actually meet someone in deep? And I appreciate that level more than I do the guy that, like, kind of beats around the bush and I don't know. So.
You got to run some Sims for us, kid. You got to go test out some of these. You got to test out some of these theories of yours.
Okay, what theories?
What theories should you test out? You got to test out these woman theories of these women that you're meeting on Tinder.
No, I haven't ever met a woman on Tinder. I've met 3 people on Tinder. 1, 2, 4.
4 people on Tinder.
Yeah. And I have like a shit ton of matches, but I've only met 4.
Myron says, ask her if she thinks bios are important or pictures.
Yes, bios are important. If you're a smartass, be a smartass in your bio. Like, just be you, for sure.
That was a terrible answer, honest to God.
What? What do you?
That's like one of the most cliche things. Just be you.
No, but look, if you're no, but listen, if you're an asshole, you're not gonna put like sweet romantic fucking quotes in your bio.
Why can't you do that? Why not? Why not do that?
I mean, you could, but then then it's just like being a pickup artist, right? Like you're not being genuine, and I guess like at the end of the day,
do you think Tinder is always the spot? Do you think Tinder is really the spot to be completely honest? So obviously you want to attract people with your honest self. Do you think Tinder is the place to be your honest self? I feel like there you can sort of play from an exploitative standpoint, and you can sort of fuck around with different strategies on there.
I mean, you definitely can. You could, you know what you could do? You could change your profile like every 3 days. Like try, like find someone's profile, you know, or whatever. Like there's things you can read online, like where people posting like the most responses, the, you know, the best openers, the best everything when you're first messaging stuff, and you can try those and see what works. Test it out. Test this out for a week, and then change it up. You know, change your profile picture. There's, you know, you find, like, survey the women in your life, like, be like, okay, what do you think is the best picture of me? Because 99% of the time, the picture that you think is the best picture of yourself is the, like, public opinion is not going to say that's your best picture.
Guys in the chat, that's something you can do. If you have if you're a Tinder grinder, if you're an online dating grinder, and you've got pictures and you're not sure which is the most GTO, aka optimal photo to go with, send them to me and Ebony, and we'll take a look at them, and we'll take a look at them. We'll break them down. We'll break them down from a statistical standpoint, poker style. We'll take them into the lab.
But you don't do.
You've never even run a statistic at poker, so I don't think you can approach things from a math. I'll be the math person. You be the. I'll be the. Hold on, let me put my glasses on.
You do theory, and I'll do practical.
I mean, the thing is, I wonder how much advice. So let's say the guys out there right now. I wonder how much you could really help these guys, these specific guys. Because I think you can help women have a better overall mindset and approach. So I think you can help. I think you actually are great at just your ideas and the way that you approach things. So people can hear, women or men can hear how you think about things and be like, oh, I could do that. Whereas for a lot of guys out there, I don't necessarily think you're like going to give them like some hands-on tips, because you know, you're in like a different bracket than you're like playing a different game sort of thing than a lot of guys out there, especially a lot of like the guy, you know, you're playing a different game. You're not playing the same game.
That's why we're doing this together. But no, that's exactly why we're doing this together, because I think the two of us, like, we have kind of a magic formula where we're coming from two very different, you know, playing fields, and we're bridging the gap, you know, where it's, I don't know, I think it'll work. So between the two of us, I mean, hey, why not?
I mean, I don't even know if it's supposed to work. I just think it's fun to do.
Well, that's the thing. I could, if I can have, you know, I can talk about sex all day, sex and relationships and all that stuff. And if people want to watch, they want to watch. If they don't, oh well. Like, okay, I'm having a good time, and yeah.
I hear you, Poppy. Bodybuilding Lee said, guys, this is actually really good advice. Guys, use a DSLR or Sony A7R11 or A700 or A6000 to take your photos. That's true. If you take an actual like high quality photos, I feel like that's gonna improve your overall. And you can also edit your photos to make them a little bit more. You can make them the contrast, like make them stand out when they're swiping through, to sort of maybe give them. Obviously, it's good if you're attractive, because if you're not attractive, you got to somehow maybe hide that. I mean, what do you do if you're not attractive and you're on Tinder?
You just cross your fingers and match away. There's a lot of unattractive people on Tinder.
Right. Well, there's a lot of unattractive people in general.
Yeah.
Or just like even like maybe average.
You know, unattractive people need to get laid too.
I agree. Well, that's why they need some help. They might not need help, but so pics with your bros is good. Pics with guys.
Not if like, okay, so if you have multiple pictures with the same group of guys in every picture, no, that's not good. I was actually thinking about that today. I noticed one guy, like, I was like, oh, well, this guy's cute. And the first 3 pictures were with him and 2 other guys. And I kept thinking it was the cute guy. And then I got to the last picture, and it was not the cute guy. It was the ugly one in the group. And I was like, okay. So it was like bait and switch. But I swiped left, so it was totally fine. But yeah, no, like, not group shots, but like active shots, different pictures. I don't know. Okay, enough Tinder, I think.
Yeah, Tinder's not your GTO game. What do you think you're strongest at? What are you the best at?
Sex.
What makes you so good at that?
I'm open and receptive, and I'm sensitive, so that makes it exciting. But that's to be discussed at another time. That part.
Yeah, when talking about Tinder, James said both parties are not experts at a subject.
Yeah, we're definitely not. That's awful.
Yeah, I've done Tinder once. But also, I think in general about these things, you don't have to be an expert, because if you have a platform where people are going to watch you or people are going to listen to you while you're learning, so this is kind of like a learning experience as well. And I don't even think you need to be experts at something I think you're an expert at certain categories. I'm an expert at meeting women and hooking up with women. I'm very, very, very good at that. I'm not good at like longer than a month. I'm terrible at that. I'm awful. So that's what I want to be trying to learn during this process, man.
Well, not even that. I think, well, more than that, because that's good. But I think more than that is we're not self-proclaimed experts, right? Like you said, like this is a learning process.
Honestly, Ebony, can I be honest with you about something?
Yes.
So bodybuilding Lisa Joe, she's teasing you need to test her sex skills. I think you're an expert at sex. I have to tell you that. I think that you are an expert at sex. For sure, I'm serious in every aspect of things.
Thank you.
I just have to say that. I mean, it's.
I guess that's the receipts, guys.
You know, I just have to say that. But go ahead, continue on.
Okay, so, yeah.
Go ahead, continue that. I'm gonna go. I gotta run to the facility on the live stream. Go ahead, and I'm gonna give you a question. And it says, D. Sanchez said, here's a question. What if you like the girl a lot, but still want to bang other girls, but she is not the type that will be okay with it? Great fucking question.
Then you have to decide how honest you want to be with her. Like if you banging other girls is more important to you than being honest with her, then that's what you should do. I'm a big advocate of honesty. I think that's always the way to go. But like we said earlier, sometimes it's easier to lie, and you can't always have your cake and eat it too if you're honest. So yeah, and if you're not in a monogamous relationship, I don't know, I think be safe and make good choices and fuck away. But I'm an asshole, so yeah.
I'm just gonna give advice from I'm gonna give advice from a very selfish standpoint, which is just care about yourself, man. Care about that sounds so bad, but
no, it doesn't. You have to put yourself first. You have to.
Ishku says, do you have a legit sample size to back up the theory that she's a sex expert? Maybe. I mean, I suppose, I guess. I don't know. No, I don't actually. Do I have a legit sample size?
No, it's on the small side.
Oh. Ran a couple simulations. I wouldn't say it's a legit sample size.
What would be a legit sample size anyway?
Probably maybe like 8 to 15, something like that.
Yeah, I guess that's. Yeah. Okay, I have to use the restroom, so you're gonna have to answer some questions.
Oh, well, I'll be much better at this than you are, I'm sure. So.
Yes, I know. That's why you're here. I'll be back.
All right, cool. Let's see what we got in the chat. Let's see some other comments in the chat. Kylo Kokos on Twitch says, I really enjoyed watching Ebony on Poker Night America. It was fun. I also enjoyed Joey's cage game. Thanks you to check them out. I agree. Bodybuilding says, both of you guys need to make an X video and share it to prove it. Unfortunately, I don't think I could do that, because in the poker world, it would just be all over the poker world, and might not be good. Kishku says, what is your opinion on how I should have approached her suggestion? What was the suggestion, Kishku? Ryan Poppy said, Poppy, thank you for responding to my YouTube PM. You're welcome, Ryan. You're welcome. You're welcome. Matrix says, have I missed all the poker chat? Yes, we talked about poker at the beginning for 5 minutes, and now we got into the real stuff of what the point of this is. Me and Ebony's site. I'm very excited. Bodybuilding Lee says, might make you famous like Kim Kardashian if you make a sex tape. I don't think being envious of Kim Kardashian's celebrity, the way she got it, is something that a lot of people strive for, because she's looked down upon so negatively by so many people and has no respect from so many different people. And sure, she might have some success, or she might have some money, or she might have a lot of success and fame or notoriety or a lot of money, but I mean, I don't value those things higher than, you know, being looked at as one of the biggest fucking jokes that exist in, you know, famous for nothing. Like, yeah, those type of things. It's not really what I find that pretty unattractive. James says online dating or unreal life pickup. Which one is easier for y'all? I think in real life pickup, they're both easy, but in real life pickup is extremely easy to do. In real life pickup is just, you just talk to people. Like, I mean, it works better if you're in a big city. You just walk up to women and say hello, or you have I mean, it's, I don't know, it's really easy. I don't know. It's just like, yeah. Go ahead, Ebs.
Hi, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kishu said, my last ex wanted to have a threesome, but she wanted me to select the chick. I folded because I sensed she was laying a trap. What's Ebony's opinion on how I should have approached it?
Yeah, if she wants you to pick the girl, it's definitely a trap. I mean, chances are it was a trap, but always let her pick. And I don't know. If she's leading with you pick the girl, it's dangerous, treacherous waters, and it should be someone that you don't have communication with, someone that she's comfortable with. It should always be her choice, especially if it's new. So.
Myron said online dating is competitive as fuck unless you're top tier. I think it's in a big city where there's a lot of selection, like on a Plenty of Fish or like even a Tinder. I don't have much experience with, but I actually did a dating challenge on Plenty of Fish where I tried to go on 30 dates in 30 days. And that was extremely easy. And I think what you can do in that situation is you can sort of grind out if you're just going from straight appearance, which I used to do. I only went from appearance. I didn't care about anything else. But now I sort of really look for girls that have similar hobbies that I like to do, or girls that are intelligent. And as we stated earlier, the intelligence factor versus attraction level. So someone that's a 7 or 8 from a pure physical standpoint, after you start talking with them, or the way that, you know, you guys relate to each other, they might turn into a 9 or a 10. And especially in online dating, you're going to find a lot of those at first glance. They might be a 7 or 8 or a 6 point. Let's not get that low, but like a 7 or 8. And then you start talking with them, they turn into a 9 or 10 for you. And if other guys are approaching from just a physical standpoint, you're gonna have a good chance with them. And for the ones that are just 9s and 10s, just get Hail Mary. Like the Hail Mary is such a great strategy to use. Just throw anything out there. Like what's the worst that can happen in that situation? Some might strike and some might, you know, depending if you want to date or if you want to hook up. And have you actually online dated much, like the online dating sites?
Like real, like I did, I have never met anyone. Like I did eHarmony and Match.com. And it was so long, and for what? Like to communicate, I don't know. I'm not a fan.
See, I think you're being a little closed off to a great way. It's just such a great way to meet people. It really is. I think it's an awesome way to meet people. Although I haven't, to be fair, I haven't really online dated. I really grinded the streets hard. When I lived in Chicago, when I lived in the city there, I grinded hard because it was so easy, and you just met so many different people. I think that's what it was. It was easy, and you met a lot of people. And I was really playing online poker at the time, so I wasn't necessarily into the going out lifestyle. I was more into play poker on my computer for 10 hours a day and get really good at poker lifestyle at the time.
I don't know. I think online dating. I mean, dating in general is time consuming, right? Like it takes time.
So. Mm-hmm.
So when you're doing online dating, like people, once you start communicating with someone and like they know when you're online on that dating site, and then it becomes this like, whoa, you know, like even one of my really good friends, like she met her now boyfriend on a dating site, and she could see when after they went out, they started talking. He lives in New York, she lives in Florida. They started Skyping and talking, had yet to meet, you know, but she would like tell me that she was upset about him being on the dating site. I'm like, but you're on the dating site seeing him on the dating site. Like you can't be upset that he's still on there. Like you guys aren't in a relationship. And she says, yeah, but I disabled my profile, and that's, you know, where expectations come in. It's like you can't expect him to do that because you have, and you know, it doesn't take away from the fact that he doesn't, you know, that he cares about you or whatever. And now, you know, I told her not to sweat it out. And she didn't, and now they're dating. Now they're exclusive. You know, and they've been together, I think, for like a year and a half. But like, it's so time consuming, and then they see more things, and it's just, I don't know. People get offended by everything so easily nowadays. No.
Okay.
I don't know. And I'm surprised you like online dating, actually, because I'm like you. You and I are similar in the fact that we like to disappear for days at a time without responding to people. And in the online dating world, people can see that you're there and that you're not responding, and they take it very personally. And I like to have that advantage of being able to get the option of disappearing if I want to without having to answer any questions.
Okay. Scott said, "Can we get to the sex training?" We'll get to the sex training later. We're not going to break down actual. We need some like pictures to break down. We're gonna try out the pictures.
So I love that you're calling this a sex training site.
What do you call it? What was it called?
By the way, you have to eventually start spelling my last name correct.
I thought it was Kenney.
It is, but then on Twitch, it's not. Like the headline, I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, if we're gonna run a sex training site, then you have to spell my name correct.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, it's more like an adventure and learning. And are we training, or are we talking topics and giving? I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, you're gonna have fun with the chat. I can tell already. You're gonna get defensive on these motherfuckers.
Why?
They're gonna say some things that you're not always gonna like.
I understand people are always gonna say things that I don't like. I'm probably gonna say some things that people don't like, and then I mean, whatever. People are welcome to their opinions. That's what it makes for good banter. And yeah.
I really want to go learn these new things and put some videos on there. I want to go to the oral sex class. I want to go learn from a professional. I want to show them the shark and the snake and dog bowl and chainsaw. I want to go show them these things because honestly, the shark is such a great move. Honestly, the shark is a really great move. It's such a fun move too. Why does oral sex have to be so the serious thing? Why can't you lighten up the mood once in a while? You're not the first time. You want to balance it. You want to throw it in the second or third time. Or maybe after the first time that night, maybe you introduce the shark to the discussion.
Have you ever like danced naked in front of like a partner or anyone that you're having sex with, like being like absolutely ridiculous?
All the time, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So as long as like if you can like get silly and be silly and it's a thing, then I think you're ridiculous shark and whatever the fuck.
Why is the shark ridiculous? I've done the shark to you. You love the shark.
I don't remember that. I don't think so.
I've done the shark in a podcast when you were sitting in this chair that's not here.
Yeah, but like not in real life you haven't. That was a simulated shark.
Right, that's a good point. That's true. We're gonna talk about one more thing, and this is one of the most important things I've learned in my life, and then we're gonna end the day today, and that is married men. What are your thoughts? Let's start off married men that have no children, and then let's go to married men or women that have children.
Why? Damn it! I had actually the guy that is one of the guys that I'm seeing, like he told me that I could be a professional homewrecker.
That sounds like a very bad quality in a person, honestly. I find that's one of the most unattractive qualities in a person is someone who has no issue or can get with people who are married and married with, like, yeah, that's why do you do it? Why do you like, what's the reasoning for you to do that?
No, well, most of the time, anyone that I'm involved with, like it's one of those, it's like dating like an athlete or whatever, like you know they're not going to be faithful, right? And so you either choose to be the main girl that gets cheated on, or you choose to be the side chick, right? And a lot of times these women know, like the men that I get involved with, they tend to be in relationships where it's like don't ask, don't tell, where the wife or girlfriend or whatever knows, and they don't want to know details. So, but yeah, but I get approached by a lot of guys that they want to be they want to make me like their mistress or their girlfriend or their whatever. And like, no.
Why do you, okay, so I didn't even answer the question. Why don't you not go for people that are married? Why even, like, why get with them in the first place? Even if they're in this don't ask, don't tell sort of thing, like, what's the appeal to that? Is it like,
I don't think it's necessarily like I'm seeking married men, and
I know that's what I'm saying, but as you meet someone, they tell you they're married, like, shouldn't that, I feel like that should be like a,
but you have to remember who you're talking to, right? Like, talking about, like, I am a big proponent of, like, I don't want attachment. I don't want, like, those type of things work perfectly for me, and they should work perfectly for you. You want these short-term relationships that don't have attachment or expectations, and yeah.
I don't want to get with married women or even women in a relationship, though.
I don't either.
There's a lot of issues that come along with that. Like, especially if they're married, if they got children, even if they tell you, even if they say, like, I am not, like, me and my significant other are having problems, like, we don't have sex anymore, we're unhappy, we argue all the time, I'm looking for a reason to leave them, and then they start, getting comforted with you, and then
okay, that's the exact opposite of what I want. I don't want anyone unhappy. Period.
You don't what?
I don't want anyone that's unhappy.
But they probably don't fucking tell you.
I don't want to be.
But they're not going to tell you that. They're just married and they don't tell you they're unhappy. They go after you, and then they tell you they're married, and then you decide to hook up with them. Just seems like a really bad idea. Like, what's the upside to that? I from your standpoint, like, why not just avoid that? Even, like, I don't know. Like, I guess you gave a reason look who you're talking to, but like, what's the?
I don't know. It's not that. I don't know. For me, like, it's not that I'm going and I'm looking to be with married men or to be.
That's what I'm saying. I know I'm not. Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. But you meet them. You find them. They find you.
I meet a lot. It's mind blowing the amount of people who claim to be in happy monogamous relationships would jump to not be if they knew they weren't going to get caught. I mean,
okay, that's not the question. The question is, from your standpoint, why would you get with them? Why would you get with the person? Why would you have sex with them? Why would you have like a texting relationship with them that turns into
if I'm into that person, I'm into that person. Period. Right? Like,
married or not, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're with someone else. It doesn't matter if you could potentially ruin the relationship or the marriage that they're in. Even though you might not think you can, you might not think it's your fault. If, like, oh, well, I didn't do it. Like, I just fucked the guy, or we texted and, he got, like, as you said, the number of people that are in happy relationships, happy marriages that would hook up with you is probably pretty high. But you could also be like, hey, like, it's probably a bad idea. Why don't you just, like, stay in your, like, I don't want to get involved with it. And, at first they might like the idea, but then when they start hooking up with you, then they really are into it. Then it really ruins their marriage. And sure, it might have been ruined already. It might be a positive to get out of the marriage, but at the same time, you had a directly caused this sort of.
Yeah, okay. So you're saying, like, what do I do if I'm the catalyst for a separation?
Exactly. I'm sure you've been the catalyst in the past for a relationship or a marriage. And like I said, there's argument that you might be doing them a favor, but at the same time, there's so much heartbreak and bad shit that comes from that type of thing that I don't want to get involved with that. I ran one simulation and I'm done. I am not doing any more married girls, no more married women, no more women in relationships. I don't give a fuck what kind of line of shit they try to sell you. But I just don't, like, there's so many people, why do it, man? Why do it?
I feel like you got your heart broken by a married woman before or something.
Oh, I definitely didn't. I got my life threatened. I think that's what it was. I'm like, listen.
Like, it has to be, like, so bad that you're like, no, it's the worst thing ever.
I was like, listen, this is what I'm being told this. I'm being told this one scenario. And obviously you guys are having another scenario completely because you're fucking married. And of course she's going to tell me this because she wants to have sex. So she's going to tell me what I want to hear. Of course, everything's bad. I can't wait to break up. I can't wait to get out of this, yada, yada, yada. It's the same. That's the kind of bullshit you hear. And, like, listen, man, I got my life threatened, okay? Like, I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm like, yo, like, chill, okay? And, I regret it because the way the situation was represented to me by her was not probably how the situation actually was. And I probably should have been more aware of that at the time. But, you get sometimes blinded by this sort of, a sexy girl is telling you this or telling you that. You get blinded. You want to get it in. You want to, you get these, like, you get these things. But the biggest thing I took away from that is I'm done. And MIA boy says, just think about the other way. I don't know if you can think about it the other way. 'Cause you like don't want to be married. So what if you got cheated on? But
I have actually. I was engaged, and
how long ago were you engaged?
I was 25, 24, 24, 25, 24.
Okay.
And we were together for 2.5 years, and he was legit living a double life.
How do you feel about that, Ebony?
I was heartbroken.
Exactly. So this is the potential feeling that you're giving other people out there every time you decide to go for a guy in a relationship that's married or in a,
well,
I want to get you out of this. I don't want you to do this anymore, dude. Like it's just fucking bad. It's just bad, man. It's bad.
Let's tell Gregory. He said he wants to go fuck his inflate.
No. Let's not.
Listen, but no, we can talk about a fleshlight.
No, we're not segueing to a fleshlight right now, kid. We're segueing on this. We're sticking to this topic. I want to pound this fucking topic home to you. I want you to tell me that you're not going to hook up with
about sex. This is about like deep hardcore like.
This is what the site's about relationships, romance, sex, fucking everything, man. It's about everything related.
For me, like I'm not. I don't think it's natural to be monogamous.
So you don't think it's natural, but other people are like they're as we've seen, we've had this conversation with a number of monogamous women who only see monogamous as the only way to possibly be. And the conversation never really goes like we'd plan it to go when you have that like we had it with Mary out, during Coachella, and you were telling her about your theory and she's like, that's fucking dumb. Like why wouldn't you just be with one person? That's dumb. Why you do this? Like why? You know what I mean? And yeah.
I don't know.
You're evil. You're kind of evil. You're kind of evil, dude.
I used to be really evil. I'm not anymore. I used to. I used to be really bad. I was an asshole, and I would lie, and I would play games, and I was, I did it all. And that's why now I come from a place of like honesty, and I try and like live my life honestly and have honest relationships and with people who are honest.
How honest is a relationship if you're hooking up with someone that's married though?
I don't. I'm saying I used to.
I'm gonna tell you about a sim. I'm in a simulation right now for everybody. So there's a girl who's talking to me that I used to go to school with back in the day, and she is married, has kids, and has been trying to, hang out with me. And so I'm in a situation right now where she asked tomorrow, she's like, hey, I'm gonna be in town, do you want to hang out? And my penis says,
yes,
come on over to the house, man. I got a bed, let's do it. But my simulation experience tells me this is never going to end well, no matter how great the relationship is, no matter if it blossoms into this amazing friendship, if the sex is the most amazing sex ever, if she gives the best blowjob and it just satisfies you for fucking 5 hours straight, day after day, then you see her. Like the best case scenario doesn't make it worth it. And Ebony, man, oh my God, the married girl grind, I'm not a fan of. I'm telling you, who is
a fan of the married anything grind? I know some women who like to be. They're like professional side chicks. Like that's what they like to be.
Why?
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
You got to know. You have to have understanding. You're friends with people.
It's like they take pride in being a side chick, of being like, yo, yeah, I fuck your man, you don't even know. Like it's like I
hate them. Don't introduce me. Hey, none of those people are coming on the podcast.
No, I want nothing to do with any of those people.
No. Tell you what. Let's have one of them on a podcast so we can get inside their head and figure out what they're thinking, because that would be fun. But let's not have more than one of those on the podcast, please.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. Like to me, like I don't get off on the idea that I'm like, oh my God, I'm with a married man, and like, oh yeah. Like the whole secrecy, that stuff, that doesn't do anything for me. It actually does the exact opposite. It's a turn off for me. I don't enjoy being a secret. If someone's gonna be with me, like I enjoy being private. Like parts of my life are extremely private, but I think there's a big difference between being private and being a secret. I don't enjoy being a secret. So that's why I don't date married men anymore. unless they're in an open relationship.
Listen, I don't believe it. I got to tell you right now, I just don't believe this. I don't believe you have relationships. I believe you might have some sort of, short-term type relationship. Guys on Twitch, if the audio is cutting out, there's the link. Go to the one on YouTube, and you can up the quality on YouTube as well. By the way, guys, it does go up to 1080, I believe, on the settings chart. Ebony, let's wrap it up, kid. That was our first pot. I feel like we birthed a little bit of here. We'll put it on our new YouTube channel. We'll open up our new Twitter. We'll get out there. We'll start designing art. We'll start designing logo. I'm in the graphic design lab, really learning graphic design pretty well. And,
I think we really have to hone in on this. Was like a kind of like a smorgasbord of shit we talked about.
Ebony, no, man. You think too fucking much. I gotta be honest. You think too much. You're one of those overthinkers about this situation, aren't you? You just gotta start fucking going after it, man. Start getting after it.
It needs to have some direction, or else it's just gonna be random. Like the random sex show. Is that what this is gonna be?
It's gonna be what?
The random sex show.
You said you wanted to do something. That's why I said let's do this. This is easy to do. This is fun.
Yeah.
You're just mad that you like married men. That's fine, and that's okay.
You know what? Fuck you. Oh my god. I think you're. No, never mind.
Think what?
I don't know.
I can take it. Go ahead. Tell me.
You're bitter about something.
I'm not bitter about anything. I'm bitter that I got into a situation where I got my life threatened. I made a very bad decision. And I just want to make sure people out there don't make a bad fucking decision like I made. That was a bad decision.
I mean, people make bad decisions all the time. I think.
Not me. I don't make bad decisions all the time. I made that. That was one of my only bad decisions I made. What kind of bad decisions are you making?
You make those GTO's decision all the time.
I embrace whatever decision I make. Like when I hook up with a Mary, I embrace that decision. Sure, it didn't work out past like a week or two, but I embraced for what it was. I don't have any regrets about that.
Mary had nice teeth.
Mary, oh my God, her teeth were so fucking good.
Oh, how was the sex with Mary?
I mean, she had an above average sized booty. Boobs were the worst boobs ever. No shots at her, you know what I mean. Breast game was not heavy. It was one of those boobs, the boobs were like kind of sags. No shots at boobs that sag, but like, she's young. It shouldn't have sagged like that.
Yeah.
And, I guess that is direct shots at boobs like that, but that wasn't necessary. That's not a deal breaker for me. I could deal with that if there were other qualities that were I think high in that spot. Overall, not very adventurous. Kind of boring. I mean, listen. I stopped hanging out with her like after a week, a week or two or something like that. So.
But okay, not very adventurous. Kind of boring. Was she like limp fish boring, or like very like super vanilla boring?
Kind of vanilla boring, yeah. Bodybuilder. She didn't have any kids. She had no kids. She was childless.
What does that mean?
She had no children. He said they sag from breastfeeding.
Oh no. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. Actually, there was. I used to cheer for arena football team, and one of the girls on my team, her boobs were like saggy, and she was. I mean, I think we were like 20, 21. Mm-hmm. And I had already had my daughter, and my boobs were way perkier than hers, and I thought that was the weirdest thing ever. And she had no kids. Some boobs are just, yeah, I don't know.
Weird. But yeah, that girl, nah.
Come on. See, you're too vague. What do
you mean?
I don't know. I said, how was the sex? You're like, yeah.
I mean, it was like I wasn't looking forward to it. So I base my enjoyment of sex if I would want to do it again, or if I look forward to it after the first couple times. There are some girls you hook up with and like it might be okay, but you're not certainly excited about the next time. Like you're not looking forward to the next time. You just sort of do it because it's sex. It feels good. Like most of the time, sex just feels good. But there's difference between that and actually being excited for it, anticipating it, really wanting it, like excited to see the person where you're just like, fuck, man, I can't wait to do this. And with this specific girl, I didn't really feel that after the first, as you told me, what you told me happened is exactly what happened. Once it happened for the first time, after that, it was like, meh, been there, you tried it, and didn't, yeah. You know? You know what I mean, Puppy. You predicted that. You predicted that would happen. That's what you predicted would happen.
I'm really good at like being able to predict. Like, you give me like real life people that I can assess, and I'm pretty good at that. I'm pretty good at that. So.
All right, okay, let's wrap it up, guys in the YouTube chat. I see some new faces out there that I've never seen before on any podcast or live stream. Much love. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to follow Ebony on Twitter, it's at Ebony_Kenny. Ebony, EBONY, Kenny, KENNEY. And guys on Twitch, I will be streaming. Me and Ebony are going to be putting out a lot of different content related to this stuff, different questions, podcasts with other people, videos, doing things. If you want to watch this back on replay, if you're just getting here, you can go to YouTube. Link is, or Egyptian, the link is in the description right now.
Also, they can ask any questions. We are definitely going to tailor our videos, our episodes.
Calm down, Ebs. What are you so uptight about this for, man?
You know why? Because there's so much to talk about that if we don't like narrow it down and choose a topic, like we can choose a topic and then everyone can just go ham and ask us all those questions on that topic. And
that's the plan, Poppy. That's the plan. These are fun. These are just bonus, Poppy. These are bonus.
Yeah. So listen, if you guys want to ask us any questions, hit Joey up on Twitter, hit me up on Twitter. You can email us. I guess we'll use our email, huh?
What's our email, Poppy?
butfirstsex@gmail.com.
Wow, what a BUT, but first sex.
Yeah.
But first sex, BUT.
But first sex@gmail.com.
But first, let's have sex. So, I really enjoy that I can actively pursue sex with people out of research for the site.
Yeah, it's definitely research. So, so that's another thing, guys. We're gonna do lots of research, hands-on research.
Listen, I'm gonna be researching the fuck out of things, guys. You guys give me suggestions. I'm researching them for you, okay? And listen, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for you guys.
Yeah, we're doing this out of like concern, and we're really just taking one for the team here.
Yeah, exactly. Like you want me to go do some sort of tantric position with some sort of a specific type of person? Let me know. I'll go do it for you guys.
I know for sure. Honestly, I want to hear about people have to have sex bucket lists. Like you have to. Things you've always wanted to try, but you've been too afraid or too embarrassed to tell someone. And you guys email that shit to us anonymously, and we'll definitely tell you.
What's your top thing? What's your number one thing that you want to try at the top of your bucket list?
Well, I got one done recently.
What's that?
Pegging.
Pegging?
Pegging. Google it, bitch.
Wait, what? Pegging?
Yeah.
What are you, pegging?
Pegging.
Pegging?
Yeah.
Tell us what pegging means.
I'm waiting for you to Google so I can watch your face.
Jesus Christ. What kind of weird shit. What the fuck? Why would pegging be on the top of your fantasy list? Honest to God.
It was, I don't fucking know.
What are you talking about, Ebony? How is this at the top of my number one thing, my bucket list?
I didn't say it was number one, but it was definitely up there, and now it's
fucking weird. Why? Why do you want to fuck a dude in the ass with a dildo? What are you talking about, Ebony?
Listen, see, this is exactly why I'm doing this show, because people's reaction should not be that, right? Fuck it. Who cares?
That's kind of weird. I mean, no, listen, that's a little different.
No, I whatever. People have their kinks. There are different things. You can't explain why you like girls with nice teeth, right? Why teeth is the most important thing to you.
No, it's not the most important thing to me.
Dude, you are blinded by her nice teeth. Okay?
Let me think about if I'm into pegging. Not gonna be able to do it. No. Listen, you ain't gonna see me pegging for explorative in the podcast. I'm not exploring pegging for the stream, guys.
No, you're not. You don't have to explore. But what I'm saying is there are different kinks. There are different things that people do that are very taboo, and that people are constantly having a reaction the way that you reacted. And I want to be able to touch on those and talk about those and have people tell us hey, listen, it's anonymous. send us from a fucking dummy email, whatever. But you know, it's hard, you know, if something that you've always wanted to do garners a reaction like the one you're giving me. Imagine being like a guy who wants to tell a girl that he's into something that is going to make her react like that. Like he's never going to tell her.
So you're saying that maybe I should try pegging?
Oh my God. Like no. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there are lots of things out there that aren't necessarily considered normal, you know, or they're considered weird, or they're I mean, all kinds of things.
Are you into transsexuals?
No.
Let me ask you one more time. Are you into transsexuals, Ebony?
No.
Okay. Post-op, pre-op, none? No post-op ladyboy, post-operation ladyboy, no pre-operation ladyboy, nothing?
No. Are you?
No.
Why would you ask that?
Oh, thank God I have a good moderator that's finally doing something. Thank God. Thank God. No, I was just wondering. Because someone in the chat, Myron, said that, or I'm sorry, Bodybuilding League said she must be into trannies.
No.
Into trannies.
Not at all. I like men who are men. I like women who are women. I don't like, yeah.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with trannies?
Nothing. It's just not my cup of tea. To each his own, or to her own, or to their own, or whatever. So. I'm
going to tell you my top fantasy is, you know, it's obviously it's a drug related fantasy as well too.
Okay, go ahead.
It would have to be like a threesome with two attractive women who I have some sort of mental relationship with as well, while I'm on ecstasy and ketamine. Oh, that sounds like that sounds like a nice ultimate sexual fantasy right there.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Oh yeah.
So you need like a girl you're close with and then a unicorn.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Or two girls that are friends. And that have that's the key, is finding two girls that have hooked up together at some point, or have had some type of experimenting with one another, even if it's alone or with another person, and you just have to be really connected with at least one of those people. Like the girls need to be comfortable with each other. That's it.
Well, you know what I found out from going out a lot for a period of time is that a lot of very attractive women love ecstasy very much. They love it a lot. Like they love it. I know you don't. You like. I remember I mentioned to you. You're like, that's weird. But you look at it, it's like it's weird. Like we look at your pegging shit like it's weird. But there's like this huge subculture of people out there in every city that like love. They like love going out. They love doing drugs. They just love it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You got to try it though.
I mean, I've done Molly.
Right, but you try it in like a casual type of setting there, like with your long-term main partner there. You gotta try it in a more fun setting.
With my former beloved, and I never did it in public. I have anxiety issues. I couldn't do it in public. I wouldn't be able to.
This is a whole nother subject for another time, but
yeah,
these chicks are so. It's like all the damn Bilzerian girls, those girls love that. They love coke. They love X. They love the. Why do you make the face? See, you make the same face that people make when you said pegging. I thought, where's the open mind go?
No, okay, so I'm all into open-minded, right? Like I don't know. I didn't even smoke weed until I think I was 26. No.
What does that to do with you being open-minded to that situation?
No. Listen, I make that face because it's not for me. Like I have only ever done weed and Molly, and that's it. Like
how do you know it's not for you then? How do you know it's not for you?
Because I have an addictive personality, so I don't need to be getting on shit that could possibly ruin my life.
Isn't pegging seems pretty addictive?
B, I have so much fun being me without the help of being under the influence of anything that I'd rather not. I feel like I would just like get lost I would just lose it. Just never recover. So.
All right, let's wrap up.
And I've had family members shout
out to them.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I when I was young, when I was I'm old now, for those that don't know, I'm very old. When I was young and people would tell me that, oh, someone's addicted to drugs or someone likes doing drugs, I'd always be like, oh man, what a fucking loser. Like, what a fucking, like, you know, I'd make that same face, like, ugh, like, what are you talking about? But I mean, I understand completely why people are very much into them and why people love them or why people want to do them. I mean, they give you a very great feeling that a lot of people can't get naturally. And
Right.
And,
well, I don't know. I feel like I don't judge, because I've seen and I've had people very close to me that have had issues, and you know, I've had to go through that. Like I've seen, you know, that side, and I've lost people close to me from overdoses.
Seems like seems kind of like a weak mindset, a weak mentality to have that be the reason why you wouldn't.
No, I honestly, I don't have any desire whatsoever to try it. And that's the thing. The first time I tried Molly was 2 years ago, and not even, I think 2 years ago. And, you know, one of my friends tried to get me to do it with her for years. And I was like, no, I'm never. And then whenever I had the desire, I did it. Like, that's it. I'm a grown woman. I'll do what I want. So. Plus, it's like another world when I'm on that shit anyway. So. What are you smiling?
I agree, chat.
What?
I agree with the chat. The chat's being interested in this conversation right here.
Why? What are they saying?
I love the chat, man. I love the chat. I like Twitch tonight, man. Now that we stopped playing poker, the Twitch chat actually becomes fun. Whenever we actually play poker, the Twitch chat's just usually terrible. YouTube chat obviously is on point. Bodybuilding League. I don't know where Bodybuilding League. How did you find this stream? I like this guy. He uses way too many bodybuilding phrases and he says bra a little bit too much, but I like the guy. He's provided some really great comments. He's made some good questions, and I like this guy. I hope he comes back. Shout out to him. James Garcia, Kush Strain, Luke, Scott Headley. Scott's been nice. Myron, D. Sanchez, man, thanks for coming out, guys. Kush Strain, great comments and great conversation. I'm gonna go read some more books tonight about the subject because I'm
About which subject?
About just this whole entire idea: sex, dating, romance, women, men, pegging. Go get pegged in the other room. Jesus Christ, pegging? One of your bucket list things you want to do?
I already did it. What are you talking about? Not that I want to do it. I already did it.
Yeah. Oh, staceless.
What?
Yeah, man. All right, let's wrap it up. Ebony, we'll be back soon. And guys in the chat, follow along. Twitter, join your one. And save your questions for next time we stream. I'll let you know when. Probably this weekend sometime.
You guys can also, like I said before, message us, tweet at us, message us on Facebook and email at butforsex@gmail.com. And that's with 1 T, not 2.
Boom. Much love. Adios, guys. Peace out. Hola, cola, mosa, cala, monacita, mama, mon, cala, monasato, copa, la, soco, Next stream, you gotta follow along for that. I'm not sure.